Welcome to the Business Finance Bulletin, episode 153. The latest Business Finance Bulletin with me, Rob Warlow from Business Loan Services, the commercial finance experts. In this bulletin, the impact of Brexit on the UK economy and small business confidence, the latest peer-to-peer lending figures, and the government appointment of a scale-up champion. Let's start this bulletin by taking a look at the ongoing impact that Brexit is having both on the UK economy and small business owners' confidence in their own business. Now, as I record this, a bit more clarity is coming out as regards the UK government's stance in negotiating Brexit with the European Union. But as I say, what is the impact on small businesses? Well, two interesting surveys have come out, the first from the Federation of Small Businesses and the second from Barclays Bank. Now, the FSB survey focuses on those businesses who are already doing international trade. Now, from this survey, the FSB estimates that 32% of small businesses are doing international trade. So it's a third of UK small businesses. Now, of those, 92% of them say they do export to Europe, and 85% of them say that they do import from Europe. So as you can see, there is a large dependence on the EU trading bloc. Now, with Brexit looming, what kind of anticipation levels are small businesses having as regards the trade they're going to do post-Brexit? Well, interestingly, of those exporting to Europe, 29% of them anticipate that they will see a fall in the amount of goods that they will be exporting to Europe. Now, this is strange despite a devaluation in the pound, which is obviously making UK goods in export terms much cheaper. In terms of importing, well, 31% of businesses say that they anticipate doing less importing from the EU. So already we're beginning to see some picture emerging that businesses are already beginning to think there is going to be a negative impact on their trade. Turning now to the Barclays survey, now this looked more at confidence levels, and they recently surveyed 1,000 business owners to look at, say, business confidence generally with Brexit looming. Interestingly, 44% of those surveyed said they did not see any impact on the UK economy, that it would remain the same. Concerning their own businesses, slightly higher confidence levels. 56% of those businesses asked said that they think there will be no impact on Brexit. Now, obviously, there was some businesses who thought there was going to have a negative impact, but clearly the weight is kind of in the middle at the moment, and it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Now, Barclays asked what were the three top concerns that business owners had. Well, perhaps not surprisingly, the number one concern was the impact of the ongoing Brexit negotiations. The second concern was about instability in Europe generally, about the Eurozone and uncertainty. How is that going to impact on them? And the third point was inflation. As prices begin to rise, are they going to be able to pass on their own increasing costs to their clients in the form of higher prices? So we can see some messages beginning to emerge here. Whilst confidence levels still remain quite high and quite steady, no doubt those will change over the forthcoming months. It'll be an interesting one to watch. Moving on now to the alternative finance scene, covering peer-to-peer lenders and crowdfunding. As we know, post-credit crunch and these new kids on the block have really taken the small business market by storm, and also individuals who want to borrow money from alternative sources other than banks. Well, the latest figures for the last 3 months in terms of volume of 2016 have been released by the Peer-to-Peer Finance Association. Now, that's a kind of self-regulatory body consisting of 9 of the key players in this alternative finance space, including the likes of Funding Circle, Rate Setter, Zopa, Market Invoice, ThinCats. So the body then collates the volumes that these platforms have been doing. And for the last 3 months of 2016, they estimate that their members have lent out a total of £844 million. Now, that's both to individuals and businesses. So within that, obviously small businesses are what we're interested in. £544 million was lent in that last quarter of 2016 to small businesses. Looking at the whole of 2016, they estimate that £3 billion has been lent out to individuals and businesses. And of that figure, £1.8 billion was lent to UK businesses. So you can see it's a major part now of small business owners' funding box, if you like. And certainly amongst the businesses that we speak to, we're seeing an increasing awareness of what crowdfunders can do as a good alternative to the high street banks. So if you want to know more about crowdfunding and how it could help your business, of course, just drop us an email, info@businessloanservices.co.uk, and we'd be happy to chat through the options with you. As we're now at that point where the UK government starts thinking about the UK economy post-Brexit, interesting to see that government has now already started putting plans together to scale up the economy with the recent launch of its industrial strategy, all around more support and more guidance, increased access to finance for UK small businesses to get us on a more formal growth footing. One announcement there was that the Small Business Minister, Margot James, has now also been appointed a scale-up champion. Now, what is that? Well, the government realises that yes, we can do a lot to increase startups, but where the real benefit for the economy comes from is if those startups scale up, if they get to growth very, very quickly. And they found out over the years by various research that scale-ups is really hard to achieve. And what they want to do with the appointment of a scale-up champion is to give more dedicated resource to those startups that have the capacity to grow very quickly with the right finance and the right support. Now, I've mentioned in previous bulletins, the likes of Barclays Bank, for example, have already appointed scale-up champions. They provide dedicated support to businesses that have the capacity to grow quickly. So, interesting initiative. Let's hope that it does actually gather some pace, because unfortunately, some government initiatives have sound great on paper, but when things actually get going, well, nothing much happens. Let's hope something does this time. Well, that's it for this bulletin. As ever, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give a like and a share. It all helps. Don't forget, I've got a podcast version available on iTunes, SoundCloud and Stitcher. And if you are listening on the podcast version, pop along to my YouTube channel. Go along to YouTube, search for Rob Warlow, and there you will find this bulletin together with all past episodes and other videos with tips on raising finance and dealing with banks. So that's it for this bulletin. Thanks very much for being with me. Look forward to being with you again next time. Bye-bye. Have a great, successful, profitable week.